Well, hey there, it's Jennie Wolek with the Wolek Group, Keller Williams Realty in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm so excited to share with you on this agent success secret our friend Leah Joos out of Cincinnati, Ohio. You also work Northern Kentucky, I believe,
I
Leah.
do. Yep.
And it's been so fun watching you grow over all these years. So, will you just tell everyone, share with our guests who you are and what you do? I can't wait to learn from you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks so much, Jenny. I appreciate this opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Joos. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised here. Also licensed in Northern Kentucky, but I am an agent that is pretty consistent actually year in and year out, and I am ready to bust through that door and start growing, but I'm excited. A little bit about my background. So, I have a master's in counseling, which I find to be relevant because I believe that a lot of our job is counseling people on, what's going to fit for them, what their future goals are, just helping them make good decisions in your life. So, I have background in counseling. I worked in higher ed for 7 years. So, I was working with advising students on everything from like what their majors were going to be to what they, wanted to do with their life's work. I took a break from counseling, and Jen, who is my director of ops, she's on. She and I opened a restaurant together. We both had this love of cooking and this desire to connect with people on a deeper level. So we owned a restaurant for 5 years. We closed that restaurant the end of 2017, and I had my daughter, Cora. Um, she is now 7, so that means I got licensed in 2019. So basically, I did the stay-at-home mom thing for about a year and a half and said, nope, can't do it. I 100% think that is the hardest job in the world, and everything else pales in comparison. So I decided to get into real estate instead. So I got licensed the end of 2019. My first real year in the business was 2020, which I know everyone remembers to be just a magical time in our lives. People told me in 2020 that real estate was so easy, right? Because we had all these leads and people to get under contract, and interest rates were so low. And I was a brand new agent. I had no idea what I was doing. So while everybody else was feeling like real estate was easy peasy, I was figuring it out. So I ended up winning Rookie of the Year in my area in 2020, which was amazing. And so, of course, I thought, oh, well, this is so easy. Like, I'm going to kill it. So I'm going to double my production in
Wow.
21 and go even bigger in 22. And that did not happen. I have been very consistent with my production. This last year, I ended just at 10 million, which for me was amazing. And we have goals to grow that this year. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about my background and how I got here.
I love your story and your journey. And really, it's like so many of us. We probably didn't have this life goal of being a real estate agent. We
Yeah.
probably had some different backgrounds and experiences that just led us here. And really, what no matter what we did before, does tend to lend its hand to helping people. And it sounds like that really worked out for you as well. Now, Leah, what you're really great at, and what I'd love for you to talk about is, most of people can probably already tell your behavioral style that you like to connect and build rapport and
Yeah.
connection with people. And
Yeah.
that's really where you've stuck in your on purposeness with
Mhm.
your business. So, talk a little bit about how you decided that's what I got to do rather than maybe having a dialer in the past that
I
did not work out.
know, right? That's so fun. So, like any new agent, I was just trying to find my way and figure out how do I help people and make connections with people. So, yeah, I was one of those people that my first year I bought a dialer. I was calling for sale by owners and expireds. And if you know me, you know that is so not my jam. I love that other people do that, but for me, I want that warm and fuzzy feeling. I want that like, oh, my friend Leah's in real estate or my agent is amazing. Work with her. I didn't want to have to like beg people to understand why they should work with me. So yeah, I took that idea of essentially building community. I think that was something that Jen and I really leaned into when we had the restaurant is we, wanted to be this place that people felt like we really knew them and we were successful with that. And so I really tried to do the same thing with real estate. And so the easiest way I found to do that was to just be in front of people in person. And I'm good on the phone. I love chatting with people, but I think in person it's a lot easier to go deeper. And so I made it kind of a mission of mine pretty early on. I coach with Alice Daly. And so obviously you guys know her. She's big on events and kind of identified that, like, really, I just need to meet with people that want to kind of cut out the small talk and get a little bit deeper on getting to know each other. And that's truly how the business has grown is loving on people. So Meg's on here. She's an expert at micro events. I've learned a lot from her. But much of what we do is just trying to lean into what our community needs. So we're really big on giving back. So our local school district, we've done everything from collect toys, school supplies, winter coats, Thanksgiving meals the last few years. Just trying to show people that we care. So then when they have a real estate need, they're remembering me. But it's not about necessarily real estate, it's about that connection and that giving back piece. So that has been really critical for us. We also really lean into the idea of pop buys. I love gift giving. It is so like one of my love languages, both receiving and giving. So, in case anybody wants to send anything to me. But we try to be really intentional about that. So, loving on our database, Jen just put together little hot chocolate and marshmallow Popeyes for the families around here. It's been really cold and it's nice to kind of lean into that. We just had an ice skating event for our past clients and Cora's school friends. I started a mom's group, which has been just the best. Like, I wish I had done that sooner. So yeah, just trying to like find ways to connect with people that feel really authentic to me and not being something I'm not. Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, let's like lean into that for a minute because I know that there's so many of us that have been where you are. It's like we know what we need to be doing, but then the actually doing it part just is too hard or uncomfortable. Does
Mhm.
imposter syndrome play into any of
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Meg's smiling at me because she knows. I think I'm that person who's so above the comparison and oh, so and so's killing it and I'm slow right now, but it doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is, I fall into that so easily and I hate it, but it happens. I mean, I'm a very confident person, and yet there are times where I really worry that are they going to view me as an expert? Am I doing the right things? Am I doing enough? I think it's really easy for that to happen. I also think it's just really important that we remember that we all have our gifts and our talents, and we need to appreciate that people like us for who we are. And that's something that I've really struggled with over the years. Like, I truly am so appreciative to you, Jennie, and to Meg and to Just Star and some other people in my orbit that, I don't have the production level, right, that some of these MREA rock stars do. And yet, you all are so okay with kind of bringing me under your wing, and I learn from you and meet great people. Um, and so there's something to that. Like, obviously, it's my sparkling personality, but beyond that, I just think there's a willingness to grow that I have and an interest in continued learning. And so that has helped me kind of combat that imposter syndrome that I do tend to feel sometimes.
Well, I 100% agree with it. And I know that I experience that all the time. And we all know, and we're all reading or have already read the let them theory. And so we know to just, bless and release that thought and move on from it, but we
Yep.
still get trapped in it sometimes. But I will say, Leah, and for all others, because this is really how I have grown so much, is I just put myself in the room where the people were, even if I wasn't invited or I wasn't at that production level. I don't know, years ago, if you remember there were these events called Recharge, and it was very expensive to attend these events. I didn't have the money, but I knew the people that would be there. So I ended up hanging out with the top leaders of our company, the top agents of our company, and now we're like best friends, right? And so I just faked my way in there until I actually am kind of almost there and still working on it, of course. But I just think that's so important. And so let's just talk about something I think is important. It's near and dear to my heart. Many of my friends and followers are women, and lots are also moms. And so, we know our daughters have been their whole lives have been about in real estate. They have
Mhm.
always known us to be working moms. And so how do you juggle all of that? How do you
Yeah.
manage it?
Um, I think getting really clear on your priorities. So it is my priority that I am home by 4 o'clock every day to get Cora off the bus. That's just a complete non-negotiable for me.
Wait,
So, and
wait, is that possible? You can do that?
I know it's wild. And guess what else? I put her on the bus in the morning too.
Yes, yes.
And there are times where even if I have to leave right after that, right? So I will spend the 20 minutes with her getting her snack and then I have to go do a showing. But I really protect that 4 to 5 o'clock hour because I want to make sure that I'm the first person she sees and that I'm there to ask her how her day was or to hear about the boy that's been mean to her at school and mama's about to throw down. So I think my priorities are really clear on that. I think too, I'm not afraid to share Cora with my business. She's such a big part of my life that it would not feel real to me if she wasn't a part of what I'm doing with my business, right? So, like the ice skating event on Sunday was a great example. That was something she wanted to do. We went ice skating for the first time in December, and she was like, Mama, let's go again. And I was like, you know what? If you're wanting to do this, you're 7. There are probably other 7-year-olds out there that want to do this too. So let's do a little event around this. And she has a role in my business too. I mean, she will help me do work when necessary. She has no trouble talking to people. Jen can attest to this. She always comes to our Pies and Pints event in November and she will talk to anybody. So I just try to keep the focus on this truly is a family business. I mean, my work is paying for our ability to lead this kind of amazing life and to help raise Cora. But I don't shy away from the fact that I'm a mom and I'm a mom first. And so, for instance, Mega Camp last year fell over Cora's first day of school. I still went to Mega Camp, but I left early and I made sure I was there to get her to school that first day. That's just a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, I think it's and I may mess up this phrase, but when your priorities, your values are clear, your decisions are easy.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
we talk about this all the time, Leah, and when we get really clear on what matters most, then it makes it so easy to say yes and no to the things that we need to keep us in alignment with that. But the struggle is real. You've
It
got the
is.
client that wants to meet right then. You've got the seller that's ready to list. I mean, how do you actually talk them through those conversations?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think part of it, honestly, is just setting the expectation up front. When I meet with people, I tell them, you'll see my phone goes on do not disturb at 8. It's just a non-negotiable for me. I'm not going to reply to you after that. And as we know, there's no real estate emergency. I really just try to lay out a timeline for listing or what buying's going to look like. But I express to them that, if I'm not available, it's not because I don't want to be there. It's because my top priority needed me. And that is the beautiful part about having a team. I have a showing agent or a buyer's agent that will show you in my place. And we all know showing the home is probably the least important part of this job. The important parts are the relationship, the asking questions, the negotiations, the keeping us on track, the writing the contract, all of that stuff. But the showing, that's not that's not important. Somebody else can step in and do that. So honestly, having leverage is a big piece of it.
Well, let's touch on that for a minute. Now, the whole team building thing can
Yeah.
be, controversial. Some can be
Yeah.
so happy and successful as a solo agent or have a small team or grow a really big team. And so it's
Mhm.
which route will I go? And sometimes we fail inside of any of those paths while we're figuring it
Absolutely.
out. So have you gone at that direction and where are you with that?
Yeah,
Right.
that's such a good question. So I'm still really struggling with that, to be honest. I hired my director of operations, Jen, in the fall of 22. And Jen is just like the biggest, what do they call it, rocket fuel? Like she is my biggest asset.
Integrator.
Yeah, and like she's the actual boss, just FYI. But she keeps us on track. She is the person that I'll have an idea, but then she'll plus it 10 times over. Or she's so like-minded to me that if I want to do something, she's gonna do it, but she's gonna do it better than I was gonna do it. So she was literally the person for me and the right fit. After I hired Jen, very quickly after, like within 6 weeks, I brought on my first buyer agent, and he has since left the team. Somebody else has joined our team, and I am honestly in this place of just being unsure about what it is that I want in terms of a team. I think there's a way to do this that's probably just showing agents, but I have a deep desire to mentor people and the right people that want that kind of feedback. I'm kind of willing to stick with for the long haul if it means that they are growing. And that's probably a mistake I've made. Like, I don't have a lot of expectation around how many units you sell or anything like that. Like, I'm very much focused on what's your lid, what do you need to make? What's the fun stuff you're going to do for the year? And then how do we make sure that you're hitting your own personal goals? But they're not necessarily tied to my goals, if that makes sense. So I struggle with it. So I think for a while I thought, oh, okay, well, so how you do this is you're a successful solo agent first, and then you start hiring agents, and then you're
Yeah.
golden. It goes from there. And I think what I'm realizing now is one, it takes time to figure out if the hire's right or not. Because even though I went through career visioning multiple times and I did the hiring right, it's not always right in practice. So it's still, I'm a work in progress with that. Ask me
We
again in a
all
year
are.
where I am with the team.
We all are, Leah. That's the truth is like right as soon as we think we have it figured out, then something comes up and something
Right.
changes. Well,
Yep.
just to kind of wrap up, what would you do if you were starting out? I mean, only 6 years. You're still a baby realtor, by the way. But only
Six
six.
years this fall. I'm still saying five.
Okay, you're five. You're a fiver. Um, what would you tell a new person or someone who is struggling and wants some more, success than where they currently are? What would be the thing you would do different if you started
Yeah.
over today?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. I 100% would have thrown like a huge knockout fun bash party and like announced my entrance into real estate. I would have invited everybody I knew. I wouldn't have been shy about it, and I would have remembered that people want to see me succeed. So I very much wish that I had started with just a big party to celebrate it. And unfortunately, that's not what I did. What I did was I sent out a letter,
Yeah.
which is not the same vibe as a big party. But if I could do it all over again, I absolutely would just celebrate this career choice and
Right.
not be afraid to tell everybody that I'm in real estate and who do you know that might need help?
Isn't that interesting? That is our number one job is to have leads, to communicate with people, to help people. And we're so afraid of doing that. Isn't that
Hmm.
so interesting? So we throw a big party. So the big
Yep.
party is first up.
Yep.
And with that, why couldn't we do that now? Why couldn't we have a
Right.
relaunch?
Right. Oh, that's such a great idea. You could do a party I think like you could do a half birthday party and
I
be
mean,
like
yeah,
send a little form at the end. Who do you know that's interested in buying or selling? There's plenty of time to do it.
I love it. Leah, how can people best find and follow you so they can reach out and connect?
Absolutely. So I'm on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and then you can absolutely go to our website, leahjoosgroup.com. Jen does a great job keeping that updated, and I really appreciate all of her hard work. So thanks, Jen.
Yes, it's so good. Well, thanks for talking with us today, and I
Thank you,
appreciate you so much.
Jennie. I appreciate it.